You've heard about conscious manifestation. Now get a load of autopilot mode manifestation. Consciously manifesting is when you intentionally focus your thoughts, your concentration to align with your desire and manifest it in outer reality. Autopilot mode is when reality instantly transforms without you even having the intention to manifest it, without you even thinking about the desire. Blessings, everything automatically showers and pours into your life. No mental energy required. So if you are sick of constantly waking up, constantly thinking about your desire, if you are sick of intentionally forcing yourself to act as if, or intentionally forcing yourself to visualize, then this video is for you. It's going to make manifestation, it's going to make living a good life so much easier. And for me now, autopilot mode has given me so many blessings, so many wonderful life experiences, so much instant good luck, just because of this one core contributor that makes or breaks autopilot mode, which I've mastered. And this one core thing I'll be sharing with you as the video goes on, but I want you to understand that you can focus your mental energy on the bigger, important, authentic desires that you have, and let autopilot mode just boost and improve and transform your life in a positive way without having to use any of that mental energy. And I want you to think of autopilot mode as you sitting in a self-driving car. This is kind of a funny analogy, but imagine you're sitting in a car, and if you have a bad autopilot mode, your car's autopilot self-driving system is going to be trashy. So you're sitting in your car, you're letting autopilot mode drive the car, you're taking your hands off the wheel, you're relaxing because you're sitting in one of those high-tech cars. But since it's a crappy autopilot program, your car is going to be swerving all over the place. And then you're going to just be like inside your car, you're going to get swerved, you're going to move. And then when there's a red stoplight in front of you, your car is just speeding towards it. And at the last second, it finally hits the brakes and you're like thrown back and you hit your head on the seat behind you. Bottom line, it's very, very uncomfortable and honestly stress-inducing and anxiety-inducing. This car is just swerving all over the place. It is very uncomfortable to sit in, and you're like constantly stressing, like, oh my god, is it gonna crash? What is going on? That's what a bad autopilot mode looks like. And when you actually grab the wheel and you steer it how we want it to, that's when the car finally like relents and the car finally is comfortable to drive. Only when you grab the wheel. And relating this and connecting it back to real life, when you are manifesting desires with intention, you will be able to get the desire. But if your self-driving autopilot system is poor, you are going to get majority uncomfortable, stressful, anxiety-inducing experiences outside of you. And only when you consciously choose to focus and have intention towards changing, like when you grab the steering wheel on your life, that's when it changes for a bit. Maybe life gets a little bit better. Maybe you manifest something positive and something good in your life. But as soon as you stop doing that, you go back to crap. You go back to anxiety-inducing, stressful-inducing life. You go back to majority negative experiences in your life. On the other hand, let's say you have a good autopilot program in your self-driving car. You're sitting in your car. You're leaning back on the seats. You're reclining. You're reading a book. You're just relaxing. You're sipping a drink. And the car is driving very smoothly. Very smoothly. Super duper comfy 5-star Uber experience. You're sitting behind. You're calm. You're peaceful, your mood's great, you're not stressed about anything, because the car is naturally, automatically, the autopilot mode is taking care of everything. Getting to the stoplights comfortably and stopping on time. Driving very smoothly. Driving at a good speed. Driving in a very, very comfortable way. And because you're not stressed about how horrible the car's driving, it's not giving you spikes of anxiety, you have more mental energy, more peace, to focus on your bigger, more important manifestations. because your life is at a nice baseline. This is what it looks like to live a life where you are constantly very peaceful, very calm, at a good baseline. Manifestation is so much more. So much more. Oh my God. It's so much more mentally fun to do and not mentally exhausting anymore when you have a good baseline autopilot mode. And it's extremely difficult to manifest a desire if your baseline autopilot is in a very poor place. And I just want to share with you what I've manifested, the small things and the big things, from healing and fixing my autopilot mode. Because I had a terrible autopilot mode in the past, but I transformed all of that. And I'll show you how later on as well. For me, I'll be starting off with some of the smaller desires that naturally autopilot mode manifested for me that has transformed my life in a positive way. And then I'll get into a couple of bigger desires, such as the most life-changing manifestation of my life, which was healing my bond with my family through autopilot mode. No intention required, no concentration, no focus, nothing. Just automatically, as I relaxed and I reclined back in my car seat, and I just enjoyed life. So my first autopilot manifestation was the way negative problems and negative experiences in my life would rapidly just solve themselves so quickly and easily. In the past, whenever a problem would come up, which was very common in my life, I would stress about it for weeks. I would stress about it so much, trying to think of a solution. I would worry about it. I would feel like I was pulling my hair out. I would go to bed just thinking like, oh my God, what am I going to do? My life is over. What am I going to do about this? And it was very painful to go through. And after I started to fix my autopilot mode and heal it, my life completely transformed when it came to negative problems and experiences. The problems which I would stress about for weeks on end, worry my butt off, they would instantly be solved. A problem would come up and then it would get resolved so quickly and easily. It was crazy. It was crazy. For example, I remember a couple of years ago when I was still in school, I would constantly stress about, oh my God, what am I going to do about this project? What am I going to do about this test? What am I going to do? Oh my God, I have to study. I have to work hard. I have to push. I have to solve this problem. Everything in my school life is going wrong. Everything is just getting so messed up. Oh my God, I can't believe I got put into this extremely stressful class that I don't want to be in. And for most of my years at school, it was like this until I started to heal. And then suddenly, everything just started to work in my favor. Whenever I did actually get put into a class I didn't want to be in, or I had a test which I didn't even study for, instead of it working the wrong way and me just feeling the pain and suffering through that test, suffering a bad grade from that test, or suffering through that terrible class at school, naturally, I switched classes. And even if I had a test which I didn't study for, naturally, I would just pass it. I would get a good grade. Like the answers would be coming to me in my brain as I wrote, even though I didn't study. It ended up working out. The problem ended up solving. And the best way I can describe it is imagine that you drink a problem-solving potion every single time a problem or negative experience shows up, and the problem, it gets turned into something that actually benefits you infinitely. That's how I can describe the way my life transformed once I actually fixed autopilot mode. Back when I was stressed about what am I going to do in the future? Well, what am I going to do? I don't know. I'm so confused. I would spend ages. I would spend 90% of the majority of my life just stressing, anxiety about all the problems I had and how to fix them. For example, what am I going to do with my future? And then after I did drink that so-called problem-solving potion, I would get the answer immediately. I would immediately know what I had to do. I would immediately know what steps I had to take to make the situation work out in my favor. And for me, in that life experience where I was so confused about what I wanted to do in life, it came from, honestly, like a message from a YouTube video that came at the right time. It was exactly what I needed. And the chances were so coincidental, were so crazy, but I knew God was working. God was helping me. As I leveled up my autopilot mode, I was more in tune with receiving guidance from God as well, receiving help from God as well. And this is something I'm so grateful for. The speed in which the problems in my life now just resolve themselves. Because obviously, we're human. We can't avoid problems. We will get highs and lows in our life experience. That's what it means to live as a human. But having the highs be majority, like 99% of your life, and the lows 1% is a really good deal compared to instead having highs and lows 50-50 or highs and lows, what? like 1% highs and 99% lows. Having that where majority of your life is just you feeling calm, you feeling good, and problems getting resolved quickly, and you continuing to feel happy and at peace, compared to you stressing over every single thing, trying to figure out, what do I do? What do I do? I have this project I need to work on, and I haven't done anything, and it's due tomorrow, but with a good autopilot mode, I was able to just instantly get the project done very quickly and get a good grade. And the ideas were just being shoved into my brain, and I was writing so fast, and I got it done and I got a good grade. So yeah, it works out wonderfully in my favor. The next craziest life transformation that came from me improving my autopilot mode was personally, you will experience this too when you improve it, when you heal it. Unaligned people in your life will fall away, or they will change to match your new level of autopilot mode. What does this look like? So for me in my life, I experienced moments where I was really close with a couple of friends. We got along really well. But as I leveled up, as I grew, as I was on my manifestation journey and improving myself and becoming a better version of me, loving myself, just living a better life overall, learning how to spread love to the world and treating everyone with goodness, I realized that there were certain friends in my life that weren't really aligned with who I was growing into, the new version of me that I was becoming. And these people, we were close for years. We would talk every day. But now when we would talk, it felt so different because I felt like I was a completely different person. My old autopilot mode actually synced me with these people, but my new one wasn't compatible with these people. My new baseline wasn't compatible. And we had different values. We had different worldviews on life. Some of them, they lived out of fear. They still lived from a place of lack and didn't think that they could manifest what they wanted. They didn't believe in a higher power. They didn't believe in creating their dream life, and they were very consumed by fear. But I was here trying to feel expanded and trying to find others that connected with my values. And what happened was that naturally, as time went on, as I grew more different, these people started to show up less and less in my life. We would talk less and less. As the weeks went by, no more communication, and eventually we stopped talking at all. Eventually they stopped reaching out, and I stopped reaching out at all. And this is what happens as you experience this journey of self-improvement, of self-growth, as you heal and level up your autopilot mode. You will naturally notice that you start to feel uncomfortable with people in your past, and they start to slowly drift away from your reality. And this is actually a very good thing. This is making space for new people, new friends, new connections, new relationships that align with the upgraded version of you, that align with your leveled up self, and will make you feel happier. They will share your values. They will share your worldview. They'll be super similar to you in hobbies and interests. They will connect with you so deeply new people come in, or those old people, they change to match you. They change to reflect you. And this also will tie into one of my biggest manifestations, one of my most grateful autopilot manifestations, which is fixing my bond with my family, which I'll get into later. But now I want to move on to like autopilot's drastic impact on my social life by bringing me the best authentic relationships that I could ask for. As I mentioned before, people are either going to leave you, the old people in your reality, when you improve yourself. They're going to leave you, or they're going to change to match with this new version of you. And for me, that's what personally happened, as well as meeting new people. I experienced letting go of a lot of old friends because they didn't upgrade, they didn't level up, and we were too different. So I let them go with love. But one of my friends, she still stuck around, and I understood and I learned that we were actually growing together on this journey of life. We shared super similar values, and she naturally, it was honestly crazy. She naturally just became so similar to me, became so supportive and so loving as I kept leveling up my autopilot mode. She kept leveling up in a way, in her own way as well, and then we were still so compatible. Like in the past, I wasn't really as close with her as I was with my other friends back when I had my old autopilot mode, but now, like once I started to level up, those friends left. But she kept staying with me, and I genuinely enjoyed her company and the way she loved me for my true, authentic self and supported me for my true, authentic self. And I am so grateful for her. Autopilot mode will give you incredible friendships, incredible, authentic friendships when it works the right way. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel calm. It's just like a byproduct of you leveling it up. And I experience friendships where I am truly, cherished. They reach out to me, they send me texts, they care about me, they give me gifts, we hang out, and it's just a warm, nice, loving feeling together. A supportive feeling where we're all encouraging each other's dreams, we're all just caring for each other. It's beautiful. Back when my old friendships, they were more like me people-pleasing, me trying to win over the approval of my friends in order to get validation, me trying to make more friends in order to get validation, which ended up just making me feel very insecure, upset, and frankly sad about myself because I felt like I wasn't good enough. But it changed drastically. My friendships are so fulfilling now with my dear, true soul sisters. And this brings me to then the next manifestation that I made, my biggest one, which was my relationship with my family. When you improve yourself, when you level up, you will also shift the world unconsciously around you. The people around you will unconsciously feel your energy and either match your energy and change their personality, change their behaviors in a crazy way, even if it's completely crazy, or they'll become distant from your life. As I grew up, my connection to the people who raised me and brought me into this world was a little strained in the beginning. Was a little strained as I was in elementary, as I was in middle school, because of the fact that we weren't very compatible in our worldviews, in our values, and that led me to just feel very, very isolated in my life because the bond that I was supposed to be closest with, the people that I was supposed to be closest with, I felt very distant from them. I felt like I couldn't confide in them. It brought me a lot of loneliness because I was just a child and our relationship was very strained, very, 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 so many arguments and very just painful. And then I experienced a period in my life where I just focused internally on myself and improving who I was, shifting myself, manifesting a better life for myself, doing all those things. I was manifesting my desires, I was learning about manifestation, and life was going good. It was working out great, like I felt happier and all. But it never occurred to me to manifest healing my bond with my caretakers. It never occurred to do that for me. I thought, like, whatever, people be people. I don't care. And as I continue to just manifest and focus on myself internally and level up autopilot mode, of course, I realized something crazy was happening. I realized out of the blue one day, you know what? I just want to confide in my family about this one problem I've been facing, about these certain people in my life, and I want to ask them for help and reach out. Past me would have never done this, but I just had the nudge. I had the strong urge to go and do this. Go and tell them. Go and talk. When in the past, I would keep all my problems to myself, keep all my worries, keep all my personal thoughts, everything to myself, and figure out everything on my own. And so one day, when I was walking outside with my family, I opened up. I told them about the issue I was facing. And there was a voice in me that was like, they're going to shoot us down. They're going to not validate our feelings. They are going to shoot us down. They are going to tell us we shouldn't worry about this. They're going to get mad at us for getting into this problem with these people in the first place. They're going to just yell at us and they're not going to help at all. There was a voice in me saying that, but then there was a louder voice telling me to open my heart again, to trust. And so that's what I did. And that moment, when I confided in them, I was met, surprisingly, with love, care, and support. And that marked the turning point of our relationship forever. The bond with my caretakers forever. That was the turning point. And now our connection is so healthy, so supportive. They're one of the biggest, it's incredible, the biggest source of support and love in my life ever. Ever. One of the biggest blessings in my life ever. And I'm so, so grateful for them. I'm so grateful for it. Because they, as I changed myself, they leveled up to meet me. And they supported me. And they changed to match my new autopilot. Incredible. It was incredible. One of the biggest unintentional manifestations I ever did that has just positively transformed my life the most. I feel so happy. I feel so supported now. Like, younger me who was a child, she's just so grateful to have healed this connection with her family again. And I know it's not, of course, it's not possible for everyone if your family has done unforgivable things. I understand that, unforgivable, cruel things to you, and it's very shaky. I know it's not guaranteed for everyone, but remember, if you level up your autopilot mode, people either leave your life. So if you're currently stuck in a situation with toxic family, they will either dramatically, like quietly drift out of your life and stop bothering you. Maybe like right now, you can't get rid of them no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try. They keep showing up, popping in your life, judging you, just ruining your mood. But when you level up autopilot mode, they will drift away because your energy will repel them. Your new self, your new leveled up version of you will repel them. Your energy is like, go away. And you just push them away with your energy without even saying anything, without any boundaries. Or they will change, become supportive, become good. Even though it sounds crazy, like, how can these people ever change? Miracles happen. Manifestation is literally like miraculous. And this is definitely possible because I witnessed it firsthand. I've seen people in my life change when I thought they could never change, and we would probably drift away. Life will surprise you like that. God will surprise you like that as well. And now I want to continue on with, again, like another incredible, crazy transformation from autopilot mode in my life. And this was my mental health. If you've watched a couple of my videos, you know that I used to struggle heavily with mental illnesses, anxiety, and depression in particular, before I discovered manifestation, before I discovered how I could transform my autopilot mode and completely shift my life. And I was in this pit of misery, of these horrible emotions for years and years and years. Until, since I finally snapped it, one day I woke up, one day I was going through my day and I realized, oh my God, I haven't felt these emotions in 6 months? In a year? I have just naturally felt so happy, free, calm, and blissful. And that moment felt so good. It was just like a beautiful insight where I finally realized we made it. We are living now. We're not just surviving through life anymore. We're actually alive. We're living. We're tasting all the fruit, all the beautiful fruit, the juices, the variety that life has to offer. And we're alive. We're present. We're blissful. We're truly, truly happy. That's what transforming my life, that's what discovering manifestation did to me. Just improved my life so tremendously. Now that I think about it, it's really been an incredible journey of one where my past self would now be so proud, one where my past self wouldn't be able to imagine where I am now. And I healed my mental health without any form of therapy, because therapy is just a place where you can be inclined to fix yourself. You can heal yourself, not the therapy will fix you. You're the one that's fixing yourself and healing yourself. And you don't exactly need a therapist to do that. You can do it all yourself as well, which I've done by just healing my autopilot mode, fixing my baseline, and manifestation. So yippee! And moving on to the next amazing manifestation that I've received, which is being able to quit self-sabotaging habits and addictions. When you have poor mental health, you consciously, subconsciously seek to numb the emotions of pain you're feeling by reaching towards negative coping mechanisms. That's how I felt. And of course, these negative coping mechanisms are going to self-sabotage you because they're not good. For example, food, binge eating is a negative coping mechanism to help you soothe stress in your body. It's not a self-discipline willpower issue. When you binge eat, when you rely on food and you can't stop eating, no matter how much you want to stop, it's because you have poor mental health. You have a poor autopilot system where you're constantly stressed, you're consciously anxious. And that's why you actually keep manifesting self-sabotage by having a crappy autopilot system. You keep manifesting eating food, binge eating, even though you don't want to. You keep procrastinating doing an important project that will get you the good grade, otherwise you'll fail. You keep procrastinating studying for the test that you need to pass in order to get a good grade in university and graduate. You keep procrastinating, you keep avoiding those things, not because you have a discipline issue, but because simply you are dysregulated inside. Simply you are hurting inside. You are at a baseline that is not peaceful, not calm. And your body tries to soothe the pain within you. And this is how it showed up for me in my life. I was very, very, very addicted to devices. In the past, I was so addicted. Like, my screen time would be so high. All I did was just stare at my screen. I would never get anything done. And then I would go to bed, wake up, stare at my screen, not do anything, and then sleep, repeat the cycle. I was very addicted. And even though I had goals that I wanted to achieve, like starting my own business, learning how to dance, doing fun hobbies like drawing, getting out in nature, starting to work out, be healthy. I had all these goals and desires that I wanted to do. It would stop me from doing it because of how addicted I was. I would think, okay, I want to go to the gym today and work out. But then later, I would be sitting and scrolling on my phone instead. I would think, okay, I want to study and get a good grade. I want to work and do something good for my business. I would say that. But then when it came, I would be so distracted. I would be on my phone. I would be doing something else. I would be avoiding it. And once I fixed autopilot mode, bam, I became so peaceful, so calm, so secure that I wasn't even addicted anymore. I could get work done. I could do the things I actually wanted to, and I felt like I was actually living life instead of being a slave to these addictions. You might be addicted to food, you might be addicted to alcohol, you might be addicted to whatever it is your negative coping mechanism is. It shows up differently for different people. But I overcame all of that. I transformed all of that, and now I get work done. I get to do things that I actually tell myself I'll do. I do it very quickly. I finish up tasks quickly and efficiently. And that's helped me manifest goals such as becoming the best student in my grade and winning academic awards back when I was still in school. And that's allowed me to consistently improve on my passions of art, of drawing, of dancing, and getting better and better and better. It's allowed me to actually take care of my health, go to the gym consistently, eat clean, have so much renewed self-discipline. It's such a big part of my life now, and it makes me feel so much more alive. The next success story I have for you is how I've received just so many positive blessings through autopilot mode. It's just been wild. I've just been experiencing so many instances of good luck as I just level up my life, as I just improve myself. And I think one of the funniest ones was when I was one day, I was just sitting down and I was thinking like, oh my God, it's been like so long since I've actually gone to a religious institute. It's been so long since I've actually even prayed and talked to God. It's been, oh my God, how many years has it been? I think it's been 2 years. And I was just sitting down. I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah. And then I just like let it go. I let that thought go. The next day, I received a text from my friend. She texted me like, hey Shri, do you want to come to church with me sometime? And I was like, wait, oh my gosh, this is a sign from God. And then I started to go to church with her, and then I've grown my connection to God. I've reconnected to God again, and it's just been an incredible upgrade to my life, just connecting with God. So this is how autopilot mode worked for me, like this natural manifestation. This is how it comes to you. You naturally get good pieces of luck when you live with a transformed autopilot, when you live like this. I started to naturally just automatically manifest good luck in my life. And good luck is basically like when you sit down, you're in school, you're a student, you're going to write an exam, everything is multiple choice, and then you haven't studied for it at all. So you randomly like guess, right? You randomly like jot down and fill out the circles or whatever, and then you give your paper to the teacher. You haven't studied. When you get a good grade back, when you get a higher than average grade back, that's a good autopilot working. That's a good autopilot system working. If you have a bad autopilot system, majority of your life, like most of your answers on the test are going to be wrong, are going to be negative. If you have a neutral autopilot system, you'll not get a good grade or a bad grade. And most people, they either stay in an autopilot mode of getting bad grades, getting mostly negative experiences, or getting neutral experiences, a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. And then they learn to not expect good things to happen, not expect blessings from life, always prepare for the worst scenario. And they stay stuck in that autopilot mode because they think they can't come out of it. They stay stuck in that negative life experience of majority bad luck because they don't have the awareness, the knowledge that they can actually change their beliefs. They can actually manifest a better life for them. So I'm so grateful that I learned about manifestation and was able to transform my life in this way. I have talked a lot. I have rambled a lot. My intention for you is to understand what is possible by just changing your life, because I ended up in a so much better place than where I was in the past because of manifestation, because of improving my autopilot manifestation system. And this is to just show you that you can also change. It is possible as well for you, because I started off in a worse place than most people when I discovered manifestation. And it's not complicated, and it's simple. It's not complicated at all. And I'll just share this quick last success story with you, and I'll show you what exactly is the core contributor of autopilot mode. And this success story is a little quick one. It's a fun one. It's me manifesting an entire wardrobe change. An entire wardrobe change. Automatically, no intention. Exactly the type of clothes that I wanted, in the style that I wanted, in the colors that I wanted, with the fabric that I wanted, and at the rate that I wanted. Very, very, very specific. So as I was living my life, and one day I went to the shopping mall, I was pulled into going to this certain store. I had an idea for what I wanted my aesthetic to be like, what kind of clothes that I wanted to get. And this was kind of lingering on my mind for a little bit, but I didn't have the intention to manifest it or whatever. I just thought about it, and I thought like it would be nice to have something like this, and then I just let it go. It was gone into the wind. And I went into the store, right? I was just shopping there. I've gone into it previously, but most of the clothes there weren't what aligned with me because I liked very, very light colored clothes. I liked clothes that were made with organic materials and that were eco-friendly, and I wanted it to be at a good rate, obviously, for me because I didn't like spending too much money on clothes. So what happened was that as I was just exploring and looking through the store, every single past time that I came, I didn't really find anything I liked. I was pulled into this certain section, a certain area. And then I just got the urge, the nudge to go and look around there. I just actually naturally just walked around. And then as I was shifting through the clothes on the rack, piece by piece after piece, it was wonderful. It was amazing. The exact type of clothes that I wanted and the colors that I wanted were there. They were all there at the rates that I wanted on that rack. The material, eco-friendly, it was perfect. And I was like, whoa, this is what I wanted. And then I got so many. I got like 10 pieces on that day. It was so fun. Try them all on. I love them. They fit perfectly. It was awesome. And I'm just so grateful for those clothes. I'm so grateful to be wearing them. And this is like a piece which I got, which I absolutely adore. And yeah, so those were my autopilot success stories. And now you might be wondering, what is the core contributor of your autopilot mode that either makes or breaks it? That either lets you have a comfy ride experience in your self-driving car or a uncomfortable, stress-inducing ride experience. And this is something called your frequency, your energetic frequency. You might have heard this term being used in the manifestation community and other manifestation videos. And it is very, very, very important if you want to reach a point where you automatically manifest good things in your life. Your frequency level, you either have a higher frequency or a lower one, determines what you frequently see manifested in your reality. If you have a higher frequency, you get most of all of the things that I've mentioned in my success story. You get people leaving you that aren't aligned. You get positive good luck. You get problem solving quickly. You get everything, almost everything. It might change a little bit that I've successfully manifested with leveling up my autopilot frequency. And if you're new to frequency, don't worry. I'll explain it in very simple terms. Everything in our world is made of energy. And our emotions are also a form of energy. And your dominant frequency, your autopilot mode, it is determined by what kind of emotions you feel majority of your day-to-day life. So, we have different kinds of emotions on our emotional spectrum. We have emotions such as love, hate, fear, gratitude, courage, sympathy, all of these different emotions, right? And I'll put this chart up on the screen right now, right here, and it shows you the different spectrum of emotions. A higher frequency person, a person who has a good autopilot mode system, they mostly feel the emotions up here at the top throughout their day-to-day life. They mostly feel love. They mostly feel gratitude. They mostly feel calm, peaceful emotions like joy, all of those things. They feel normal. They feel calm throughout their day-to-day life. And that in turn becomes their autopilot mode, becomes a good autopilot mode, which manifests more of that into their life. And this is simply known as the law of vibration. Vibration refers to the energy, the differing energy levels, and whichever vibration level you are at, you will attract more of. On the flip side, if you have a bad autopilot system, then you are stuck in mostly low frequencies, such as fear, shame, anxiety, and depression. If you feel majority most of that in your day-to-day life, you're in like a low frequency state, your autopilot mode's like crappy, and you're going to just manifest more and more situations that cause you to feel this way. So whatever emotions you feel majority, like 80% of your day-to-day life, you will experience more manifestations that cause you to feel more of those emotions. And this is very simple. It's not complicated at all. Do not worry. It's very, very, very simple to change your frequency from being in like a lower, more anxious, depressed frequency to a more positive, loving, good frequency where you feel good throughout your day-to-day life. It's really simple. It's not complicated at all. So don't worry about it. But I want you to think of it this way. You know how some days you wake up and then you naturally just start off on the right foot. You start off, everything works out. Like your coffee just tastes really good that morning. And then the rest of your day just gets better and better and better. That's an example of how frequency works. You start off feeling a certain emotion, and then you get more of it as you feel more good and good and good and good. Things get better and better and better. But again, like maybe on the flip side, you've woken up on the wrong side of the bed and you had a rough start to your day. And it seemed like your day just got worse and worse and worse and worse. That's another example of how frequency works. And who decides what frequency you get to experience? Who decides what you get to manifest in your reality? That's easy. It's you. You are the one who decides what you want to see in your outer reality. Do you want to have majority of your days look like those bad days where you always start off on the wrong foot and everything just gets worse and worse and worse? Or do you want majority of your days to be like those good days where you wake up and things just work out, things just get better and better and better throughout your day-to-day life? You are the one who decides that, and you have the power to do that. And of course, I'm not telling you to be toxically positive at all. Negative emotions, honestly, are very, very, very important. Negative experiences are a part of our life to help us grow, become better people. They always work out in a way that's meant for you. Negative experiences don't happen to you, but they happen for you to help you grow, become a better version of you, to teach you something. So in the future, your life will improve. And I'll be showing you what exactly you can do to level up your autopilot mode along with a very, very, very specific action step that you can do right away to start to increase your autopilot mode frequency. It's worked wonders for me. It's what I've personally done and what I still keep doing to this day. It's life transformational. So I'll share with you that in a second. But I want to get into something important that you need to realize and understand. Most people, if they don't consciously choose to manifest and direct their thoughts towards creating a high frequency, if they don't focus on feeling higher frequency emotions, if they don't focus on letting go of the negative, and if they don't focus on improving their autopilot mode and improving themselves, if they don't do any of that and just leave it, their autopilot mode naturally will shift to a negative one, will naturally shift to a lower one unless you are intentionally concentrating on cultivating a higher, more positive frequency. So, I don't blame you right now if your autopilot mode right now, majority of what you see in your life right now might be either neutral, good and bad, or mostly bad. I don't blame you at all. I was there as well, manifesting majority negative experiences because I didn't know that I had to intentionally choose and I intentionally had to focus my energy towards what I wanted. So instead, because I didn't do that, I just left it to itself. The autopilot mode of destruction and destructiveness was what was programmed into me. So I don't blame you at all. We were just not taught any of this growing up, not taught any of this by your parents, not taught any of this at school, not taught how to properly feel good emotions, feel peace, feel good, and feel peaceful. And most people, they're just stressed in their life. They're anxious and living out of fear. But you now have the tools and knowledge to shift. You have the awareness to change, and you can take action on it as well. So let's get into how exactly do you improve and level up your frequency. Improve and level up your autopilot mode. This is how you do it. We go really in depth into this, by the way, in my Mindset and Habits Masterclass, aka the Co-Creator's Path. But here's like a brief overview. The first most important thing that you have to do to have a higher frequency is, first of all, master your emotions. You need to release emotional blockages that you have stored within you. And the reason why is because most people, they have emotions within them that they have suppressed and pushed down and have ignored. They have memories, trauma, grief that they have ignored, they're trying to suppress, trying not to think about, and trying to push away. This might be you, this was also me at a certain point until I learned to release it and increase my vibration. These emotions, when you suppress them, when you push them away, they don't actually go away. They store in your body, they stay in your body, and they keep affecting you, they keep showing up in your life until you actually release them and process them, until you process these emotional blocks. Then you will always stay in a bad autopilot mode because you still have these low frequency emotions swirling around in your body, which make your body feel stressed, depressed, anxious, and afraid, which is also low frequency emotions. So if no matter how much you try to think positive and feel high frequency emotions, feel good, feel love, feel gratitude, if you have all this stored in your body, it is extremely difficult to do that. And now the next thing you need to do to level up your frequency and increase it is to actually be living in alignment with your most authentic self. When you are living a life, when you are being someone that you don't even want to be, you're living a life that you don't actually love, when you're living a life where you're doing things, you're saying things, and you are someone that isn't authentic to you, isn't truly fulfilling to you, then you're actually going to dysregulate your nervous system. You're going to dysregulate your body, and your body will feel stressed out. Your body will feel unsafe because you are someone that you don't even want to be. And you're doing that in order to be accepted, in order to get validation. So your body just feels anxious, dysregulated, feels uncomfortable, feels emotions of shame, feels like it's not good enough. You feel like you're not good enough, and you stay stuck in a low vibrational state. And I'll give you a quick action step you can do right now, start it right away, to see incredible transformation. And this is also what I do every single day, and has created so much transformation in my life. And this is what I particularly did when I had a low vibrational frequency, when I had a poor autopilot mode, and this, I believe, boosted me to a higher one the most. This is a little action step you can do and implement. It's very simple. All you do is when you wake up in the morning, when you wake up and you're laying on your bed, you're laying on whatever you sleep on, instead of thinking about the tasks that you have to do, the work that you have to do, the project, the whatever, the worries, whatever, force your brain to think of something it's grateful for. Force yourself to think of something you're grateful for and repeat, I am grateful for dash in my life. I am grateful for blah. I am grateful for dash. Think of 3 things, then wake up, then move on with your day. Then get out of your bed. The reason why we do this, again, is because the thoughts that you have, they carry certain frequencies. They carry certain emotions. If you wake up and you think thoughts of what I have to do, what's going wrong, what I'm worrying about, those thoughts basically translate to the emotion of anxiety, fear, stress, low vibrational frequencies. And when you start your day off with that, it has the potential to do a snowball effect. It has the potential to make your day more anxious, more stressful, more overwhelming. So we're flipping the switch and starting with gratitude to start our day off on the right foot. So when you roll out of bed, you're automatically injected with higher vibrational frequencies. When you roll out of bed and you wake up and you go throughout your day, you're starting it from a good base place. A lot of us seriously neglect gratitude. It sounds very simple, but it's so powerful. And also, this is also very scientific. When you wake up in the morning, immediately your flight or flight response kicks in and your cortisol increases. So it's more likely that you will experience stressful, anxious thoughts in the morning right after you wake up. Because our bodies naturally are wired to be like that. We naturally when we wake up, we're ready to move, we're ready to go. So our brains are more prone to anxiety, more prone to negative emotions in the morning. And the solution is to just calm yourself down, be slow with it, just sit in your bed or just lay down on your bed, breathe for a little bit, think of 3 things you're grateful for, then get up and move on with your day. This has completely changed my life. It sounds so simple, it's so transformational. Do not skip out on this because it sounds very simple, it sounds kind of woo-woo. Does it actually work? It does. We're programming your mind to have gratitude as a muscle memory, like has an emotion that's like basically becomes muscle memory in the morning. So when you force yourself to be grateful over the days, the next time you wake up, you are going to get spikes of gratitude, floods of gratitude instantly the moment you open your eyes, because you trained yourself to be grateful in the morning. That when you wake up, your body automatically goes into the rhythm. And healing your frequency is just you aligning the 7 pillars of manifestation. And I've made a whole video on this. If you want to check it out, I'll link it here. And also it'll be in the description below. But aligning the 7 pillars of manifestation is what will be guaranteed to just boost your frequency, level it up, your autopilot mode changes forever, and your life completely transforms. This is what I have done. It's worked wonders for me. It's incredible. And the 7 pillars of manifestation, you can learn more in depth about it if you would like to in my program, the Mindset and Habits Masterclass or the Co-Creator's Path. I will link it, first link in the description below. It is incredible. It is amazing. It has specific action steps which you can do to implement everything as well, because action and implementation is very important. Just learning about something and just absorbing the knowledge is not what will create true change. Actually taking the steps to implement it, put it into your life, and be consistent with it will transform your reality forever. Because increasing your frequency isn't this like one-time thing which you can do. You actually need a holistic collection of things to fully level up your frequency and create true freedom, peace, and incredible baseline. So do this, it'll change your life, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.